Step 53 is time to rub this pole down. So I got out my steel wool and I got to stroking. But after a while I realized it was time to break out the big gun. So I went back to the old faithful wire brush and I got back to wire brushing. But just look at that before and after. Honestly, the results speak for themselves. And in the middle of this process, it began to rain. So I had to relocate to the garage and continue working. And would you just look at all that rust dust? I'm glad I relocated to an enclosed space. Now it's time for priming. And I know what you might be thinking. Is painting steel guide rods that are subjected to continuous and constant friction a good idea? And that's a good question. And the answer is probably no. Come on down. We're building seat cushions. Have I ever built seat cushions? No. Am I absolutely winging this? Yes. Is this going to turn out good? Well, we're going to find out together. The first thing I did is I took my stapler and attached the foam to the board. Why I didn't use the glue that's in the frame that I specifically bought for this process, I don't know why. Probably because I'm dumb. Next, we wrap it up in leather. So I break out my Ryobi stapler and I get to stapling. And one thing I realized during this step is you got to stretch the material as much as you can and then staple it to the board to get a good end result. And then you just repeat this process all the way around. And then bing, bang, boom, I got a seat back cushion as good as new. So then I just repeated the process with the seat cushion, but this time I wrapped the cushion around the corner so that when you sit on it, it doesn't actually stab you in the thigh. Stretch and staple, and now you got a seat. And I don't know about you, but I put my butt on that any day.
Excellent!
Step number 57 is time to screw the holes for the T-nuts. And that's actually not a dirty joke, they're really called T-nuts. And once this is done, we hammer the T-nuts into the wood. And once those nuts are good and hammered, we attach it to the frame. And for never having done this in my entire life, this actually turned out pretty good. And here's more product placement to help me get the job done. Alright, step 400 is time to knock the cobwebs off this old man's joints. And once I got them cleaned up, I put them back on the frame. And to refresh your memory, this is the way it started out. Rusted, overgrown with weeds, riddled with arthritis. And here he is, in all his glory. The once decrepit, rusted shell of a man has been transformed into a machine any bodybuilder would be proud to sweat all over. What do you think I should try to sell this for? And if you said $100 million, I agree with you. Follow along as we make our way to $1 bajillion gajillion, one flip at a time.